If you've ever tried to make chili in an Instant Pot or any pressure cooker for all that goes, and you know if you don't make it real soupy with a lot of liquid, you get the burn light in an Instant Pot or maybe the water light on a Ninja Foodi or something. And then not only that, you got to clean that mess off the bottom of your pot. Well, I've come up with a method that works really well and you will not get a burn or a water message. And I'm also using something that's real simple. Carroll Shelby's chili mix. He knew a lot about race cars. Well, he knew a lot about chili too, and I think you'll find the same thing if you try this recipe right here, which is on the back of his box pretty much, and there is all you need. I mean, you can add this, but that right there is pretty much all you need to make some really good chili that you don't have any problems with when you use my no-fail method. I'm John Sanders, also known as Jelly 007. Let's make some really good, quick, and easy chili. Okay, so right here is what we are working with. Carroll Shelby's chili kit, and it works excellent. Now, I've got a recipe for chili that's long and drawn out where you go buy a bunch of seasonings and you mix all the things together, but I'm gonna tell you, this right here is hard to beat. You go buy one box, everything is in it. And then you can also make it, create your own chili by adding any one or more of the following things, and right there they are, and it makes it easy, it makes it simple, and you can vary, what you want. I make mine, I like thick chili. I do not like soupy chili, so we're going to be making a thicker method but you'll see, and again, when you do your own, you make your own. So it calls for 2 pounds of ground beef. That is 3.68 pounds. I'm going to use about that much right there. I got to get that browned in the Instant Pot. I'm going to do it right here. And then we're going to put it all together and make this happen. Hold up. Okay, so I'm about to move this board because I got to slide this forward, but I want everybody to see it. I've had it in one video before, and to me, it's the only thing I've found that I can kind of show my support for first responders right now. And hey, I love you all, nurses, doctors, first responders, people at Publix, people at Walmart, people at the grocery, everybody that's still out there working to make sure we have food and take care of us when we're sick. My hat is off to you. Okay, so here, just to show the step, I mean, you could do this in a skillet or whatever, but there's what I left out of the 3.68 pounds. Here's what's in the pot, common sense. I don't preheat when I'm sauteing ground beef. I'm gonna hit saute. I'm gonna leave it on 30. It shouldn't take that long. I'm gonna go to high. I'm gonna hit start. I'm gonna select high, and then I'm going to hit start. So now that comes up, all I'm gonna do is stand here and break this up as it browns. Then we're going to drain the fat off of it and start the next step. Okay, so right quick, I did forget to mention that this is not ground chuck or ground beef. It's ground sirloin, and it is ready. And it didn't track time for me, but that took about, I don't know, less than 10 minutes, and it's ready. I'm fixing to pour it right here and let it strain off, and then we're going to go to the next step. All right, here is the ground sirloin. Strained and drained, because there's what I got off of it right there. And we're going to set that aside. The next thing I want to say is this is look and feel, because that's probably 2.5 pounds of sirloin, ground sirloin. And if it doesn't look the right consistency, hey, I got plenty of things. Sometimes I put black beans. I got more dark red kidney beans. That is my favorite. Dark red kidney beans, and sometimes I like to mix black beans, and that's probably what I'll do tonight, although I've got plenty of all. I've got more diced tomatoes. So what I'm getting at is I'm fixing to start adding these things and make sure it looks like the consistency I want, because all we got to do now is a little bit of pressure cooking to get those flavors to all go together. Here's what came out of the Carroll Shelby box. It is everything. It's the chili spices. That's the cumin and all the stuff you got to go buy to make chili. And it's all right there. There's cayenne, and if you want it hot, you add that whole pack. If you don't, you add a little bit of it. And then here's a mesa flour, so that'll thicken it up a little bit. It's depending on how you like your chili. That's what's great about it. So I'm fixing to add, in fact, I'm going to drain these beans. I don't add the juice from the beans. I'm going to drain these beans, and I'm not going to drain the diced tomatoes. They're going in. In fact, I'll put those in now. I'm going to put the 8 ounces of tomato sauce, And I'm just going to mix that up a little bit to kind of get an idea of where I'm at, to see if I need to go get another can of something. And you can add water too. So, I mean, it's just depending on how thick you want it, time you get all your beans in it, and how you want your chili. But you can see, right now, we're pretty thick. So I'm going to add some more stuff, but we're going to get to that. I'll be back. Okay, I drained and rinsed those beans. Put those in. Let's see what it looks like before we add any seasoning. But like I said, I like a thick chili, but I'm going to add another can of, say, diced tomatoes. So I'm going to add some petite diced tomatoes, juice and all. And you know what? Let's just see. I think that'll be okay, and it's going to be good. And I'm going to put some. I'm going to go ahead and start adding the seasoning, and let you see how it looks when you do that. You can see it'll be a lot different once you add the seasoning. It starts looking more like chili. So let's get that started. Get this opened up. I got to find some scissors. We're going to do that. Okay, here comes my version. Here, I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the black beans after it cooks. Let those beans cook, and it'll give me two different textures. And after I pressure cook it, I'll add these. It'll have no problem heating these beans. I'm going to drain those and have those ready. And right here goes the spice packet that saves you a lot of trouble and trying to figure out how to add it, because he's already thought this out. I'm going to put about, I don't know, a third of that pack of cayenne in there. I don't want it so hot I can't eat it. And if it's not hot enough, it's easy to add later. So, just to let you see how it looks when you start stirring it up, this is it. And we're going to take another look in just a second. But I think we're going to be good right there. And then, like I said, I love thick, hearty chili with a lot of meat. And I don't mind a lot of beans, but I'd rather have more meat, and that's what I'm going to have here. And like I said, that once we pressure cook it, get all these flavors together, heat everything up real well, then we'll add how many of those black beans I think it needs. I might not add the whole can. I might add 2. You never know. It's all look and feel, and it is the way you want to make it. So this right here, this is a PRD, by the way. This is a Fat Daddy-O PRD 84, which means it's 8 inches in diameter and 4 inches deep. And it fits in the Ninja Foodi or the Instant Pot fine. It holds just shy of a gallon. I'm going to say a half a quart less. It's about 3.5 quarts, so just shy of a gallon. So it works good for a lot of things. And this is how you get the no burn light, because you're not covering up. And you have to watch. I've explained it in every one of them. I have the title. In the title of my other videos, the rice and stuff, I call it a no-fail recipe. And it is. And this is why. Because you're not putting that thick of a recipe or anything on top of that element right there. Because the device has to make steam. Well, if it can't boil water, and if it can't get, in other words, if you put that on the bottom of that, you're going to get a burn light, and you're going to have a mess on the bottom of the pot. Well, when you put it in here like this, I'm going to put water in here. In fact, I'll do that right now. It will, let's see, gotta find something to put water in, just anything, coffee cup will do. Once you put the water down there where it can do all it wants to do, which is boil water to make steam, and you don't hinder that in any way, you will not get a burn light, and you won't have to clean the bottom of your pot. And that was about a coffee cup and a half of water. I've got the trivet in there. I think you saw it. So right now, we're down to this right here, because all we're doing is steaming that, or not steaming it, but pressure cooking it. And it'll get just as hot. It gets all that steam. It gets the same thing it would if you had it on the bottom of the pot. It just doesn't have to go through all that trying to heat water with all that stuff on top of that bottom of that pan where it can't transfer the heat. So we're going to pressure cook. I'm going to do custom. I'm going to do 4 minutes. We'll say 4 minutes, because that's plenty. All it's got to do is heat it and get all the flavors together, and that's all we want. So now we're going to hit start. And this one seals by itself, so you don't even have to check it, but you would, in most Instant Pots, you'd have to make sure your vent is sealed. So when that's done, we're going to look at what we need to do and probably add a few of these black beans and see if we want to add this mesa to thicken it up. But I don't usually, because I make thick chili. I'll be back. Okay, there goes the 4 minutes of pressure time is done. I'm going to let it do 5 minutes of natural release, and then whatever's left I'm going to release at that point, and then we'll start adding our beans I got rinsed off and everything right here. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes of natural release. I'm going to release the rest of it and let you see about how much is there, which is very little. There goes the pen. Let's see what we have. Oh, it looks like chili is supposed to look and not like soup. And if I can get this camera to act right, I'm going to do it. Hang on just a second. I'm going to set it up where you can see what I'm doing. We're going to add those beans right there, a few of them. But that right there is some hearty, some thick chili, not soup, not runny, whatever. And by the way, at this point, if you wanted to keep it in here and serve it, you could pour the water out, of course, and then pour this in the liner, take it out of the Fat Daddy-O, in other words, put it in here and hit warm and serve it all day long, you know, or out of here with it on keep warm. So we're going to put in, let's put that many, well, might as well put them all. That's a whole can. And I love black beans and I love dark red kidney beans in chili. And I think it just makes it look better with the two different colors. But if you don't have, obviously, I don't have to tell you that. If you don't have one or the other, don't worry about that. And you may not like two different kinds of beans. So I'm going to get this stirred up real well. I'm going to let it heat a little bit. I'm going to get some of my sour cream and some of my cheese that you probably can't even see what I'm doing. Some of my cheese shredded. I'm going to get my sour cream ready. I got these premium saltines that are minis. I think you'll like these. They're really small saltine crackers. They work great. We love them here. And I got a few jalapenos. But, you know, whatever you want to put on yours, you put on yours. But I'm going to get it stirred up, and I'll be back. Okay, there it is. Now, I added a little bit of salt. I tasted it. I thought it needed a little bit of salt, maybe a teaspoon or two. But you taste your own and check for yourself. It is not getting this. There's no doubt. I mean, you can see it doesn't need it. That is thick chili. And all the mesa does, maybe it adds a little flavor, but it thickens it up. I'm not putting it in. I mean, you could. I'm not. So what I'm going to do is we're going to let this sit a little while because we're not ready to eat since I figured out how to get the lid on. Let it sit right there on warm with that water in the bottom still and still in the Fat Daddy-O pan. And in a little bit, I will get a bowl up and show y'all exactly what it looks like and taste it. Okay, so I've got all the pictures I need and for my YouTube thumbnail, and that's kind of what all this is laid out for because tonight it's just me. Me and Baby Doll will eat this tomorrow night, and I've even got an avocado we're going to cut up and put on it, but all these things work great with it. You know, I got these small crackers. I think if you use them, you'll see what I mean. We love them here. Everything from cheese, jalapenos, whatever you want on your chili. I've even got some cilantro. I bought a little plant today at Publix that continues to grow and produce cilantro, and we love that stuff. But what I want to do, well, first I want to show you the chili. And I'll say this. I don't know how many times I've tried to cook chili in an Instant Pot, and I had completely given up. You know why? Because I will not eat soupy chili. To me, it's not chili when you got to put that much liquid. The traditional way of cooking chili in an Instant Pot, you have to put so much liquid, and if you've tried it before, you know what I mean, or you get the burn light. And Ninja Foodi's the same way. You have to have a lot of liquid. And that's not chili to me. That's some kind of soup. Nothing against it, maybe. It just ain't chili, in my opinion. So I wanted to touch on it. Like I said, here's the Carroll Shelby. He knew a lot about Mustangs. There's no doubt. He knows a lot about chili, and I think you'll feel the same way if you try it. Let's see. One more thing I wanted to touch on is that the thing I talked about earlier, the Cupboard Pro, which is that cutting board. It's kind of the only thing I have here at the house that I can tie to first responders and say how much I appreciated it, what they did at 911. but this COVID-19 is no different. As a matter of fact, if anybody has a charity or something I can contribute to, I mean, even if, whoever puts, if y'all put them up, I will pick a couple if they are, and I want to give money to everybody helping in this crisis. You got everything from nurses, doctors, FedEx drivers, UPS drivers, Walmart employees, Publix. There's a lot of people keeping this country running right now. I ain't gonna say they're underappreciated, but you kind of used to having them forever. They don't have to be there. And I would love to give to anything I thought would help something to do with anybody suffering from this situation. But anyhow, hey, I love y'all all. Try the Carol Shelby chili with my no-fail method if you don't mind, and see what you think. Comment, let me know. And it's really good. Well, I hadn't tasted it on camera, and I got lit up for that not long ago, but take my word. It's perfect. It really is. This is some of the best chili I cook at the house. Now, I do have another recipe that I'll put up. It'll be a while, but I have one that I put together with all my things. It ain't much better than this right here, though, I'll tell you that. And a whole lot more trouble. Love y'all all. Come back to see me. Bye-bye.